There I go. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the SBP. It is the week.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear
I
me?
can I can hear you.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
You can
Yes.
hear him? That's me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Joe crazy. All right.
It's the week after the Super Bowl. We gonna get it right. We having some technical difficulties this morning, but folks gonna be out and in, and we gonna make it happen. But while Source gets everything situated, we got my man's Rock in the house. Rock, what's good, my brother?
And not much, man. I just wanted to make sure I join you guys to talk about my feelings because I kept them in, So let's go.
Yes, no doubt, man. No doubt. Glad you can make it, man.
Yeah.
We're looking for you. Was hoping you could have jumped on last week. We had a great show last week, man. We talked about of course, we talked about the Super Bowl. We had some people pop in, talk about the Super Bowl. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna start real quick, get our feelings on the Super Bowl, and then what I want to do with anybody that pops in today. Of course, we're gonna definitely start with you. I want to find out about your squad because we know you are a Minnesota Viking fan. So I'm gonna have to get all your feelings, bro, about how you felt about the season, everything that went down, everything that transpired, and what you're looking forward to next year. But like I say, man, let's start off with the Super Bowl. Of course, you watched it, right?
Yeah, of course. I watched it.
All right, man. So overwhelmingly, I think we had, let me see, with Source and I, my guy Didge, that's on with us most weeks. We had three people pop in and out of the show last week.
Okay.
I think everybody picked Seattle except for Didge, of course, because Didge is a Patriots fan. Is that who you picked that you think was gonna win it?
I thought Seattle was gonna win because I didn't. Well, I was up in arms in the beginning because I was like, maybe this is gonna be the Stephon Diggs game. That's what I first thought. Like Stephon Diggs should shine. Like it's Super Bowl, he here, let's go. But after the first quarter, I knew it was Seattle because the defense was just too real, right? And in my mind as a Minnesota fan, when we had Sam Darnold, I was like, if we had that defense, we would have kept Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? If we had that defense, we would have kept Sam Darnold. Oh, and then also is the line. Seattle's offensive line is just if you actually paid attention to the line on every play,
right?
On every play, not the running backs, not the receivers, not Sam Darnold, their line.
Right.
It was too official. Like he could not lose. He could not lose. Sam Darnold was Sam Darnold with that line. He was the same quarterback we had last year. He was the same quarterback this year with a better team. So I was happy. I was kind of happy for dude winning the Super Bowl, but at the same time, I was like, wow, bro. Like, wow, bro. Like we had Sam Darnold. And I was for Sam Darnold getting shipped off. Because I was for it because at the end of the day, he's a pocket quarterback. So if you don't have a line, he can't produce. But in a Vikings fan mind state, we're thinking it's the quarterback. But then when you look back at it, it wasn't Sam Darnold. It was that line. It was the team. It was the scheme. It was the play calling. And I think Seattle was just a better fit for him. And look, I'm happy for the dude. You know what I'm saying? He won the Super Bowl. Hey.
That's interesting perspective. Definitely interesting perspective. I talked to a couple of other Minnesota Viking fans, and I know, and they wanted to see Sam lose the thing, and I'm like, what did Sam do to y'all, man? Like,
nah.
Let the man go and get his thing. Even if he don't get another one in his life, but he got this one. You feel me?
If he would have lost, I wouldn't have been upset that he lost. Put it that way. I wouldn't have been upset that he lost. But I didn't want to see New England win anyway. Like I hate New England.
How y'all get rid of somebody and then be like, oh well, I hope he don't win the Super Bowl. What, y'all got rid of him?
Yeah,
y'all got rid of him.
Yeah, but that's just human beings being human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like we made that call, so we want to look good making the call. It was a bad call to be made, and we dealt with our GM because I like dude Kwesi. That's how I see his name. That's his name, Kwesi. That's how you say his name. Kwesi. I like him. Like he a good dude. He a dude you'll drink a beer with. You know what I'm saying? But dude be doing some crazy stuff in the draft that you be like, all right, he might know what he's doing. And every time he made a move, it didn't do nothing. Our Pro Bowl players were on the team before Kwesi got there. You talking about no, I'm talking about our Pro Bowl players now. Darren Saar and Justin Jefferson. They want Kwesi's pick. That was Rick Spielman's picks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But all the picks that Kwesi made was nothing. And JJ McCartney, you know, it was I don't know, because I was a fan of JJ. Y'all saw me posting. Mm-hmm. I was a fan of JJ. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say JJ won't, you know, we could do better with JJ. I just think that KOC was trying to make JJ something he wasn't. If they were to stick to the script, so this year, are we gonna get to what we should this year, or you want to wait for that?
Give it a few more minutes.
All right, cool. But I just think that, you know, congrats to Sam Darnold. You know, congrats to the Seattle Seahawks. They got a team, bro. They in all aspects, special teams, defense, offense. It's no more I can say about that. They deserve to be the champs. You know, I swear to God, if I could get that Sam Darnold shirt they was wearing at the parade, bro, I would get that.
Joe was fire. You saw it too. That Joe was fire.
That was well deserved.
What was it?
Well, they showed clips of it. You didn't actually see the parade. They showed clips of it, and all the team, most of the team was wearing these Sam Darnold shirts with him holding up the middle finger.
Yeah.
That was kind of dope.
Yeah, it was fire. I think, like I say, Didge, I would think, was the only person on the show that picked the Patriots. Those are his boys, man.
Yeah, that's his squad.
That's his squad. So shout out to Didge for standing by his squad. But
as he's supposed to.
As he's supposed to. But he also was real about it, though. He wanted us to be real about how good his team was defensively too, which they were. Like people got so enamored with how good Seattle is defensively. We knew that, but nobody talked about New England's defense the way they should have the whole year, because they were solid. They were solid. Now, Christian Gonzalez balled out. Now he probably saved at least one, maybe two scores in that game. So, you know, let's be real about that. Christian Gonzalez, number 0, that corner, is one of the tops in the National Football League. And New England's defense, you got to credit them. You know, of course, they couldn't contain Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker was making things shake. He was doing his thing. But, you know, I made a little joke in the group. I went and put Stephon Diggs on an empty milk carton because nobody seen him. But let's be real, Jackson Smith and Jigba, yeah, you won't see him much him either. He was getting locked down. Like, yeah,
they said it was going to be a running game. You know, who has the best running back? So, you know, and another what's your boy Trayvon Henderson? Yeah. I wanted to see him win something, but you know, the fact of the matter is that he got there. He got to the game, so my hats off to him too. Huh?
Yeah, that'd have been dope because he just won a national championship last year. The thing about you just winning a national championship and then being a Super Bowl champion the next year, that'd been crazy.
Yeah, it would have. So,
you know, he won a state championship in high school too as a junior. You know, so he's out here winning championships. He had a chance to win it his senior year, but of course there was that COVID situation. They didn't get to play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he's a winner. There's no doubt in my mind that New England will be good. I'm not saying they're going back to the Super Bowl, but I think the way they are constructed, that coaching staff, a lot of them young guns, they're going to be a team that's going to be in the mix. Let me just say that. They'll be in the playoffs.
Along with the Kansas City Chiefs, because they're not going to sit.
Speak.
They're not sitting at home. They don't like this. Trust and believe Andy Reid already got his draft choices on board right now.
Yeah,
trust me. The Chiefs. This ain't like the Chiefs. You know what I mean? They like, oh, okay, New England for real. Oh, so they counting us out. And I don't even know if your boy Travis is retiring yet, but he might give us 1 year just so they can get another ring. Might give us one more year. So who knows?
They're not winning again, bro.
Do not count them dudes out, bro.
They're not winning. They're not winning the game, whether Travis Kelce stay or not, bro.
No, I'm
saying it to the camera so you know, so Prime can go back to this if something happens.
Because you know I know how to hit the button and clip that joint, right?
Yeah, as you should. As you should.
If you mean to tell me you don't believe in Andy Reid now? Well, how old is Patrick? What is Patrick Mahomes? 45 years old now? I mean, how old is that dude? Like what? 45 now?
I don't know, but them injuries started to stack up, and every receiving core ain't what it used to be. So they're not.
I think I'm gonna be honest with you. And we'll revisit this when we start next season. They've got some tough decisions to make. But I'm gonna be honest with you. We looked at that receiving core, and now we super down on them because they didn't do what we thought they were going to do this year. A lot of people crapped on Kansas City when they got the brakes beat off them by a few years ago by the Buccaneers, right? That was short-lived, and they come right back. I truly believe you want to fix the real issue to fix. If they find a way to get a running game, like a consistent running game, forget the names. We know Pacheco going to run hard and Hunt around. They get a running game, that's going to fix a whole lot. That's going to fix your offensive problems you got for the receivers. And your defense is not dominant, but it's okay. And they play good in the spring. That's going to fix a lot of that defensively. So I looked at a lot of these draft boards, and, of course, it's way too early, but they got Kansas City in prime position to go after the boy from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love, who is undoubtedly the best player in the country.
What's their pick? What's Kansas City pick?
Is it like 9? I think something like that. It's somewhere between. I feel like it's somewhere between 7 and 10. But I think it's like
they might get that. That's all I'm saying. They get somebody.
It's in there somewhere. He should be. From where their position now available. That don't mean they're going to pick him. But I'm not quick just because I'm a Mahomes guy just to write these dudes off and say they definitely not going back because they've got a decision or two to make, of course, with Chris Jones on that line, and they want to free up that money. That'd be a huge piece to lose.
You can get a younger Chris Jones.
Off in some of them teams. They one of those teams that you can make one to two move, and they're going to be right there. They don't have a whole.
What did you say, Rob? What did you
can get a younger Chris Jones. You can get you act like they ain't no more players. No, you act, bro. Listen to me.
Ain't no such thing. You can't get a younger Chris Jones. If they
why can't you? Why can't you? New England Patriots.
What?
The New England Patriots. Think about it. Nobody after Tom Brady. Did you think New England was gonna come back? Get back there to the Super Bowl?
Congratulations to New England. Even the New England fans didn't expect them to be in the Super Bowl. So we're not going to act like they are a dominant team in the AFC all of a sudden.
Seattle picked up the players that they got the players other teams didn't want. Come on, Coop. Yeah. Come on, Dexter Lawrence. Come on, who else they picked up? They picked up somebody else.
You got
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, Kupp, and DeMarcus Lawrence.
And they surrounded them with some young thugs, and they had a Super Bowl, bro.
So, Prime, you're just gonna sit here and hear this man say, "Pick up another Chris Jones," and not say nothing. That's what we're doing today.
I said a younger one.
Well, he ended it well because I have to say this. Remember, I alluded last week's source that you remember I was feeling bad for your boy Tyler Lockett, right? I was telling him about Tyler Lockett, right? This is crazy. This dude gets drafted by the team the year after they went to back-to-back Super Bowls, Russell Wilson and them, right? Spends 10 years with the squad. Then they don't bring him back, this year. They go to the Super Bowl, right? But the significance is it saves them like $17 million. All right? With that $17 million, that was really the key cog in the way they were able to structure those contracts that they got all 3-year deals for Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, and DeMarcus Lawrence.
Lawrence. I said Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, DeMarcus. Yeah.
I do it all the time. I think Dexter with the Giants, I believe. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my thing. I'm not saying you get rid of a Chris Jones, but if you had to make a move, you can get some stuff for Chris Jones.
Exactly.
You gotta sacrifice.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have to sacrifice. I wouldn't want to get rid of Chris Jones, but what teams that are feeling like they are on the edge or are right there winning it right now?
And you act like there's not another player on another team that can replace Chris Jones, and the Chiefs will be right back in it.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna tell you this. Hey, Source, I'll say this.
One of them Eagles. They can grab one of them Eagles for real.
I'm a mute. I'm a mute. Y'all got it. I'm a mute.
I'll say this.
They grab one of them Eagles for real.
You're able to do certain things with large contracts too once you trade for them, right?
Yeah.
So like the name is being floated, not with Kansas City so much, but I'm just putting it out there. It's this talk has all risen again about Max Crosby, right? All right. There are certain things within the structure. You still got to pay that money.
Yeah.
There's certain things you can structure within the contract if you making a trade versus you already having a person on your roster. You see what I'm saying?
What about Trey Henderson?
I was about to say that. I saw last week there was talk about the Henderson front again, Hendrickson front again. I'm just saying, I don't think Kansas City is as far off as people think they are. I'm going to say I was wrong about them. I was a lone person on the show when all hopes was down to saying they was going to still make the playoffs. But I'll go right here and tell you right now, barring a major injury, and if Mahomes is coming back this season, they're gonna be right back. They're gonna be in the playoffs.
See, Source is reacting to hype. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We're reacting.
That's what I do.
Yeah. You reacting to hype. We're reacting to reality, and the fact is, next man up, because this is football. Next man up, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, them Chiefs are not. They can get rid of Chris Jones. They can get rid of Travis Kelce. Long as they got that Mahomes boy, you know what I'm saying? They good. They okay.
As long as Rashee Rice can stay out of jail.
Oh, wow.
Let's not act like he ain't a baller just because things ain't turned out the way he wanted to this year. You know, I'm just saying.
That's funny.
As long as
right
out of jail, they good.
What you got to say, Source?
No.
Okay. Find them a running game. Y'all heard it here first. Find them a consistent running game that's going to fix a lot offensively and defensively. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Find them a running game. Get Chris Jones out of here and get another Chris Jones, a younger Chris Jones. Okay. Fix the O-line. Okay. Keep Mahomes on his feet. And keep Rashee Rice out of jail. Got it.
You put a period at the end of that joint?
Yeah. that about sums it up right there. Yeah.
AJ, what's up, bro? Hey, question. So, Rock, let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings, man. You did voice, that's your squad. You did voice how you felt about them this season.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the overall season, how things went, man? And what are you looking forward to next year? What y'all need to do, bro?
Okay. It's three things we need to do. We need to draft nothing but linemen and a running back. We need to tell your boy Aaron Jones, all right, bro. Yeah, it's been cool. It's been cool, bro. But we might gotta go younger. We might have to go younger. Get a running back in the draft. Because that Jeremiah Love dude, he ain't gonna fall us. We got 18. I think we got the 18th pick. It's not gonna fall us. But for some reason, if whoever the GM, whoever's making the picks, the drafts, can find a way to move up a little bit just so we can get that stud, let's do it. So that's number one. That's number 1 and 2. Running back, lineman. Number 3, what we shouldn't do is believe in washed up quarterbacks ever again. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that was a Quezzy move.
Right.
All these washed up quarterbacks we were signing to back up JJ McCarthy. No, we should be in the Joe Burrow sweepstakes right now. We should be giving up 3 number 1s. Because we're not giving up Justin Jefferson, but we would give up Addison.
Right.
But we ain't giving up JJ, but we would give up Addison and JJ for Joe Burrows. You bring in Joe Burrows, I don't want to give up Addison though. But other than who else we got that's worth giving up? Right. You know what I mean? But we should be in the Joe Burrow sweepstakes because rumors say he's not happy. You know what I mean? It's not public yet, but Joe Burrows is willing to go somewhere and compete. And Justin Jefferson is, to team up with Justin Jefferson again, I think Burrows be cool with that. But it's also saying that we looking at Kyler Murray. I ain't feeling that. I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, dude, like out there this week.
I ain't feeling that, man. And Quezzy, first of all, we should have got Aaron Rodgers last year. He ain't want but $10 million. We should have got Aaron Rodgers. Like, he wanted to come to us. And Kwesi was like, no. And my last thing I'm gonna say, because I don't want to stick to it because it's gonna make me mad. KOC, they trying to give KOC, a limb. I think KOC was right with the decisions. It was his decision to get rid of Sam Darnold. It was his decision to go with JJ McCarthy. You the quarterback whisperer, dog. At the end of the day, how you ain't got no say so? When Kwesi got fired, they said JJ just went with the punches. How you gonna let that math dude tell you what to do, who to keep and who not to keep? You know what I'm saying? You a football dude. Like, how you gonna tell this math dude who to keep? What he should do is be like, all right, who do you think we should keep? And I'll work the numbers out. That was his job. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I believe in JJ. I believe in him. I really do. But let's stop doing the deep balls, JJ McCarthy deep balls. Let's play his speed. You need a dope running back to play with JJ Wishbone. I mean, like, give this man some running plays. 3rd and 5, run that dude. He shouldn't be throwing the ball. 3rd and 5, that man can give us 5 yards. That's what I believe, and that's why I want to get rid of Sam Darnold, because JJ can give us 5 yards on his feet.
He got late.
KOC was on Simone throw. Let's throw it. Let's do some screens. The dude, oh my God, man. And this is my last one. No, I'm sorry. Bring in a play caller. Bring in another play caller. That's it. And we'll be fine.
So you ain't a big O'Connell guy?
He called the wrong plays at the wrong time. Like Justin Jefferson is even though every play that you need should go to your playmaker, that quarterback should always have a second and third option in his brain, man. Not first option and then I panic. No, but maybe that was JJ's fault, McCarthy's fault. But other than that, you gotta blame the play calling, because it's your job to say, dude, 3 seconds. JJ, hit JJ. If he ain't open, hit the tight end. The running back sitting right there just waiting. You know what I'm saying? Hit him. Get a play or take off. That's it. And JJ I think he was trying to make the play that KOC wanted him to make.
Mm-hmm.
Is a bad choice. And if we fix all those, there's a lot to fix. But if we fix all that, we should win our division.
Win the division? Okay.
Win our division.
That division right there. You that source. Woo.
I'm not.
We should win the division. We should win it, bro.
I like it though.
We should win the division, man. We a quarterback away from winning the division. How about that?
Hey.
A great quarterback.
Man, it's crazy as cluttered as that division was this year. Y'all get in the mix and everybody else hold true to what they did last year. We talking about a division, because that thing right there, me and the other guy that's usually on with us a lot, on with Source and I a lot, we were arguing the whole year or half the year about what was the tougher division between, he had the North and I had the West.
Mm-hmm.
But man, if y'all get y'all stuff together, and that's what it takes, and these other teams to stay competitive, that's a problem division. Like, it's a problem now, but it's a real problem.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say about it. Yeah. We'll see what we do in the draft, and then I can go from there. We can revisit.
Look, I need you to be right, because Source every now and then likes to remind me that I was on the JJ McCarthy train. Right. Things ain't panned out too good for me this year, though.
Nah, but at the end of the day, he on the right path of all other quarterbacks. Like, McDaniels was one of those quarterbacks that kind of shined in his rookie year, but a lot of quarterbacks didn't really know their rookie year. This is considered his rookie year because he got hurt last year. So this was considered his rookie year. And he won his last, I think he won his last 7 games. I think 6 or 7 games.
Okay. And
he looked promising. You know what I mean? He looked promising, but I just, we just got to get we got to get better in the defensive backfield as well. And I think they're gonna concentrate more on that since they kept Flores. So We could be all right, man.
Well, you got me keep my guy Rogers back there, Isaiah Rogers. That's a dog right there. I love that kid. Y'all did have that the old cat.
Harrison.
Harrison
Smith.
Like, I think this might be it for him, right? I believe.
He done. Yeah, he gone.
I think he's done. But Harrison Smith, that's a soldier. Like, I could not believe. I was telling someone, I think even last year, I was like, Harrison Smith still playing football?
Man, they like that dude.
He is still making plays, but you know what I'm saying?
He was getting burnt though. He was getting burnt too though. So
like, you know, he remind me of a little bit. He remind me of, if you look at the contract in his career. Now he wasn't as big a hitter, but to watch him over the years and go from being fairly decent in coverage to start to decline a little bit, even though he would still make plays. He remind me of Roy Williams. He used to play for Dallas.
Oh wow.
Biscuit, same way. He came into the league, was a fairly decent cover guy for a dude that was really with Bill Parcells, said he was a biscuit away from being a linebacker, right?
Yeah,
fairly decent. But then you start to see over his last few years in the league, those little bit of cover skills started to go away, and you forget it sometimes because he ended up making a couple of plays. But then you go back and look and he get burned. That's what Harrison Smith reminds me of. So that's cool. Yeah, so Minnesota, man. So hopefully y'all don't trade JJ if y'all get rid of JJ, which I don't think is gonna happen, because JJ's already said that he wanted to be there, and he does feel like Sam Darnold was a big difference. He said he's probably the real reason between them being a playoff team or not. I mean, y'all was y'all 14 and what's y'all last year?
14-3.
14-3 last year to 9-8. Yeah, 14-3 to 9-8. But if y'all do get rid of JJ, just keep him out of the NFC East, and everything will be good.
The only way we're giving up JJ is for Joe Burrows, and Joe Burrows, because we better not give him up for Kyler Murray. Like if we give, I swear to God, bro, I'm saying this first because I'm tired of this shit. If we get rid of our team for Kyler Murray or anything for Kyler Murray, I'm a Houston Texans fan. From this point on.
He jumping teams. He jumping teams.
I'm a Houston Texans fan from this point on.
You're gonna go from a bad quarterback to a bad quarterback. Okay.
So took the word right out of my mouth.
CJ Stroud, bad quarterback? Really?
Yes. CJ Stroud is not a good quarterback. Yes, correct. Really?
Oh, okay.
Really?
Playoff time, especially. Like he.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to, if you just like defense, I'm gonna give it to you. But
I like this. I like that story. You know what I mean? So I root for them guys. I like that story. But at the end of the day, they ain't win nothing yet. So I can jump on that wagon right now. You know what I'm saying? They ain't win nothing yet for me to jump on that wagon and say, "Oh, you on that wagon? They won a Super Bowl." No, they didn't. They ain't win nothing yet. But I swear to God, we better stay away from Kyler Murray if it's Joe Burrows or nothing, or we keep JJ.
If I'm Joe Burrow, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I know what he said about Cincinnati, about being happy, but I don't know if I'm trying to go there, especially if JJ ain't there. Because you see, he lobbied so hard for them to get that money to both of them receivers they got. I mean, well, Chase was a given anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But T. Higgins, he lobbied hard for T. Higgins to get that loot too. And their biggest problem really is the defense. That's what the issues is, the defense. They still got to fix the offensive line, but the defense overall, I mean, they still out there slinging it with the offensive line, the state that is in. But I don't know if I'm trying to go to Minnesota unless I'm bringing some comparable pieces. You're getting rid of JJ, then you got to get some comparable pieces. And I don't see. Well, I don't think it would be JJ anyway, unless it was another team involved, because you ain't got the money. Like you're not gonna have JJ, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase all on the same roster. It's too much money.
No.
Yeah. So.
Too much Justin Jefferson, JJ.
Yeah.
Oh no, they ain't trade. No, if anything, they gonna give up. They go if we get Joe Burrows, they taking JJ McCarthy and like 3 number ones.
Oh, okay. All right, Ron JJ, I got you.
Yeah, they taking JJ McCarthy. Not hell no, not Justin Jefferson. Hell no. Justin Jefferson. Listen to me. If Justin Jefferson leave us, I ain't watching football. I'm not watching football no more, bro. We lost Randy Moss, bro. We lost Randy Moss, the greatest receiver ever, bro. and we got rid of Randy Moss. He won't happen, and I get it. Then we let Stephon Diggs go, which was smart. You know, he ain't win nothing yet. So I was mad about that though, but he ain't do nothing. We get rid of Justin Jefferson, who want to stay, who say he want to retire a Viking.
Yeah.
I ain't watching football no more, bro.
I feel you on that. That's my guy.
Bro, I will cry.
That's
I got a Adrian Peterson jersey. That was the only Minnesota jersey I had. And when he left, I said, I ain't buying no more jerseys. But then Justin Jefferson came to the team. And I said, I got to get a Justin Jefferson jersey. I'm not getting rid of my Justin Jefferson jersey, bro. I'm going to wear it, bro. You know what I mean? I want to wear it till he retires, bro. I will cry. I will literally shed tears, bro. I swear to God, man. I will cry, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I will shed tears.
You like me, the loyalty that we have for our squad. You would like me in the NBA. I was done buying NBA jerseys years ago. I said, I ain't buying no more NBA. I'm rocking the throwbacks. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to rock the old joints, the Clyde Frazier joints. I still got a Stocks joint in there. You know, I'm not buying anymore. And then that moment came when Melo got traded to the Knicks. And, you know, I've been a Melo guy since Syracuse. So, like, you know, so I was like, yeah, I'm getting this. I didn't have this, bro. I had Christmas joints, the white, the blue, all them joints, the city. I had all them joints, man. And sometimes a player do that. We ain't win nothing, but that was my guy. And
but that's, you know, we you know, I'm gonna have to leave in a minute, but you know, just so you just know how I feel about my Vikings, man.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I told you a story that I became a Viking fan because my dad told us we didn't have to be Cowboy fans because my whole family was Cowboy fans. Right. So he told us, y'all don't have to be Cowboy fans if y'all want to. So my brother enrolled with the Eagles, you know what I'm saying? Waleed stayed a Cowboy fan. And I picked Vikings just because Dennis Green was the coach. No other reason. Because at the time, he's the only black coach in the league.
I like that, though.
That was the only reason why I became a Viking fan. I've been loyal since. And the
until y'all get Kyler Murray.
Oh my God. Bro, when we lost to the Giants 41-0 in them playoffs, bro.
Woo.
You see my eyes water and shot it. Like that was the most saddest day ever, bro. Kerry Collins, nigga. Kerry Collins.
Wow, I forgot Kerry was back there on the Giants day. That's wild.
Let y'all up, boy. How that offense couldn't score.
Hey, Rock. Appreciate you coming through, dog.
No problem, man. Look. Hey, go Eagles. You know what I mean? Go Eagles.
Relax.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all having me, man. I'll let y'all later.
Appreciate
it.
All
right, man. Peace. I go.
Peace. Yo, that is Rock, Minnesota in the house. Not the Kerry Collins joint source.
That's terrible, bro. That's terrible.
That's a crazy memory. I didn't have some bad memories, man, but you know, I think, you know, my worst memory still is 81, you know, the catch. You know, that's you know, I very few times that I cried over football games as a kid. Ones I wasn't playing in, let me say that. But those two moments, the catch, and then also back in the 80s, losing to Washington in the playoffs when they had Art Monk and all them on the right to go to the Super Bowl. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, you know, I thought you were going, well, you said as a kid, so.
Yeah, I was young, man. Like I was young, you know. You ever had this situation like something bothering you or you hurt, you're on the edge of crying and you good and nobody says anything to you? Hey, so I remember being the crib in Chester. We just lost to the Redskins, right to go to the Super Bowl. And I never forget, I'm sitting on the couch with my grandmother. She a Washington fan, and the game goes off. They still showing the post-game stuff. My aunt calls, my grandma's sister calls. They talking on the phone. She was like, where Chris at? You understand? She said, tell him I'm sorry that his Cowboys lost. That's all it took, bro. I was good. What about you speaking to me? He said, your auntie said she saw that Dallas lost. I was done.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
She didn't say anything, or my grandma wouldn't have relayed that message. I was good. With that, she relayed the message, and everything came out. Wow. Shout out to the folks in the comments, the homies. AJ in the house. Caesar was good. Caesar, I invited Caesar back to get his 10 minutes of fame again today, but Caesar is taking care of more important business today. He says, hey, fellas, can't get on today, going to see my daughter. Salute. Salute, make that happen. Keys is in the building. He said, what's
Keys,
up?
Keys.
SVP, Keys overseas, no doubt. Hey, Source, though, never get your feelings. What did you think about the Super Bowl? We ain't talk, man, about it. I'm sister.
Man, it was cool. It was a cool game. I wasn't mad at the low scoring part of it. I wasn't happy about the no touchdowns part of it. Like I would like to see a touchdown or two early in the game. But the way the defenses were playing, both defenses were balling for real. Seattle's defense over the top, craziness, doing their thing, not allowing much of anything, and New England only allowing field goals. That was tough. It was a tough first three quarters, to be honest, because one play could have made a difference. One big play on the New England side could have made a difference. Even late in the game when it was 19 to 7? When it was 19-7. And
it was like 20. I think it was 20-7.
20-7.
Yeah.
No, it was 19, right?
Oh no, yeah. 19. Take the first because they scored 3, 6, and 3. What's they did?
3,
yeah.
6,
So
9,
yeah.
19,
It was early in the fourth
6.
quarter, right? In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but it was 19-7, and my father, like New England was starting to drive, and my father-in-law and my brother-in-law were like, oh man, it don't even matter if they score. I'm like, what you mean? If they score right here, it's gonna be like 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. All they need is a stop and a score, and they're gonna win.
Turnover.
As soon as I said it, not even 5 seconds later, Drake May hit the DB in the chest, and I was like, okay, well, forget what I just said, because yeah. But I mean, I enjoyed the game overall. I enjoyed the game. I ain't win no money though. I ain't hit on no parlay. I ain't hit no squares. Nothing. I'm lying. Yeah. I hit the reverse of the last square. So I did that. I was wrong. I did hit that. So let me be grateful and thankful. All right.
This first Super Bowl in a while that I didn't win something, like somewhere, somebody's pool, FanDuel, anything. Like I won nothing. I just went blank, bro. I just knew I had been on a little streak the last few years winning something, but nothing went down in this one. But I enjoyed the game too overall. I mean, granted, I understand why people say it was boring and it wasn't hidden. I'm a defensive guy. You know, that's my thing. I'm a defensive guy, especially with the DBs. Didn't have a whole lot of problem with it. I think what did add a lot of fuel to the fire, though, with people saying that it was boring, is we weren't even seeing the usual suspects. You know, we saw like Kenneth Walker got busy. He got busy on the run, extending plays, making, finding lanes that weren't there when the original lane broke down, getting to the outside. But he didn't get in the end zone. We didn't see Jackson Smith and Jigba touch the end zone. Matter of fact, he was pretty much on lock. Stephon Diggs ended up on the milk carton. Like it was nothing. It was guys like what's the tight end Barner from Seattle getting in the end zone. Mac Hollins gonna make an appearance every now. That's what he does. Mac Hollins is a guy I told you can make 3 plays in the game, and one of them is super big.
He almost had 2 touchdowns. Actually.
Yeah. But the one thing that did come true that I was happy about. Remember, I said it. I said a defensive score. I said it's going to one or two things is going to happen. Seattle's going to score defensively, or they're going to get the ball back for Sam Darnold and them inside the 20.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so enough, we had the interception return, the return for the TD. So
definitely that.
Yeah, I figured my thoughts was this the whole time. So and I meant to say it last week, but I didn't. I thought about it after we got off the show, and I was like, when I picked this game, I was like, I can see Sam Darnold not having a great game as long as he's not turning it over 3-4 times. He just didn't have to have a great game, and I still felt better about Seattle the way they were constructed. That's just what it was. I couldn't see New England winning this football game without Drake May having at least a decent game. He didn't have to throw 4 touchdowns, but I felt like some kind of way he had to, score at least twice. Then maybe they get the aid of a rushing score or something. Maybe the numbers didn't have to be pretty. It could have been one of them games that he was right around 180 or 200 as far as yardage. I'm not saying that, but I just felt like they had to get in the end zone with him. And that was really my main reason for picking Seattle. I could see Seattle. I could have seen Sam Darnold come out here, man, throw for 182 yards. Not turning the ball over 3 times, and I could still see them winning by at least 10. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it was. And it fell down. I'm gonna give a shout out to Cory Booker though, because Cory he said what most of us was thinking, but the way he broke it down, you'd have thought he saw the game before it happened. Because Cory did say, he said that he talked about Seattle's pressure with the front 4. I know a lot of people will allude to those safety blitzes and stuff that was driving Drake May crazy. Yeah, but half of the pressure they got, it wasn't all from blitzing. There was some plays where that front 4 was just manhandling.
Yeah, running straight through the people.
Running straight through. And they were able to generate that pressure. And then, of course, he big up Kenneth Walker. And he said they got to establish a running game. Sounds cliche, but they did it. And hey, definitely see the outcome.
That was it. That was the ball game right there.
Yeah, man. So, Super Bowl for them. I was laughing because I saw they said Kenneth Walker at the parade was already trying to negotiate this new contract with the GM and owner, and they were drunk. While they were drunk.
Good time.
Yeah. So Seattle definitely got to lock him up. They found a way to get that man that money back, so he can stay there. So, a shout out to the Seattle Seahawks, bro. On to we're the Super Bowl champions. But overall, man, looking at this season, we come to an end of another season, man. A lot of storylines. We've talked about a lot of the stories before, bro. We talked about the Chicago Bears, of course, at length. That's why I was hoping Didge would have been on. So I'm getting one more time. So look, let's talk about these Chicago Bears. I can hear him telling about he guarantee it's not going to happen again next year. They're not going to be that good and all that. But
yeah, you're going to say that.
It is what it is. We've had the Shedeur Sanders, saga, right, through the whole season with Shedeur. And we're looking forward to next year because I want, we get to see what, if he wins the job and what Ty Monk is going to do with him. So what else do we have? So, of course, we talked at length about Josh Allen.
Right. Yeah.
Talked about Josh Allen. All the doors opening up for Josh Allen this year, and they still failed to, to advance to a Super Bowl. And I think a lot of eyes, if they weren't open, need to be open now. They've got a new coach who, of course, was a coach that was already there. Maybe his thinking and his mindset's a little different from previous coach. But I think, Source, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, go get that man another receiver as well.
Yeah, for sure. That would be a nice piece. I mean, the people that's, like I said it during the season, the people that said Josh Allen arguably, they didn't say arguably, but I'm saying arguably had the best running game, the best tight end combination, the best O-line, and still couldn't get to where he needed to get to. And this was during the regular season. I think still didn't win the division or whatever the case was, is what they said. But for them not to get any further and then to throw on top of that, no Lamar, no Patrick, no Joe, even though I don't think that's the biggest deal, but It's part of the whole the statement. That's a problem. I mean, that's a problem. Not that Buffalo would or should give up on Josh, but if you want to say something negative about him, like, you got the material right there. The material's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like the way they're built for the most part. I think definitely got to find another receiver. But everything is there. You just gave James Cook some money, so you coming back with Cook. You know, I think you're not in bad shape defensively. I'm sure they'll still look to make a move somewhere in there, but just want to see in this new season how the offense is going to change, or if anything is going to change. I mean, I know your offensive coordinator is the head coach now, but what kind of changes? He seems to have seems to be that that he likes his new coach. Josh Allen likes his new coach, so we'll see what type of magic they can make. They can make happen in this particular season. But they were definitely a big story, that whole squad, whole situation. And I felt about that move, though, the way I felt about some of the other moves when we talked about it was time, like with Harbaugh, and Lamar. I think that situation, the relationship had run its course. It's like they had hit the ceiling and they're ceiling together.
Yep.
Might be, Now, granted, if they don't fare so well next year, I'm sure there'll be folks that run out. See, you should have kept the coach. Unless that was going to result in at least a Super Bowl appearance, I still wouldn't agree with it, because ultimately this is what we hit. We're trying to win Super Bowls, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, we can talk about at least we made the playoffs, or you didn't make the playoffs. And unless you make it to the Super Bowl, you sitting at home like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're happy about playing an extra game or two, that's your defense. I mean, that's just your defense. I don't subscribe to it anymore. I used to. Me not making the playoffs at 7-9 or 7-9-1 like we went, to me, ain't a whole lot more different at the end of the day, getting beat first round, maybe even the second round of the playoff. It's not. The ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl.
I definitely don't subscribe to that, but I get it, though. I get it.
Well, most people don't, but at the end of the day, we all gonna be sad. That's what I look at. We all gonna be sad. You got any big moment, anything particular you remember about the season this year? Whether it was a game, an event, a happening, or something a player did, anything particular?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think right now.
I tell you why you thinking. I'm gonna give you a second. I know I caught you off guard. I'm gonna tell you, man. I told this before, and it wasn't even a super big moment. Well, it was super big because of who I was doing it with, but went back and I thought about it, and I'm like, we saw a lot of comebacks. We saw some teams play that do well that we didn't think were going to do well. We saw some crazy upsets. We saw some records get broken. But the thing for me was actually watching the Giants game at Chuck E. Cheese on my cell phone. I had the kids. Remember I told you I had the kids, and I took them to Chuck E. Cheese. And, they were smart. They, Papa, we hungry, especially my granddaughter. She wanted to eat. So I'm thinking I'm going to buy all this pizza and all this stuff, and we're going to lay low up in Chuck E. Cheese eating. They can go play their little hearts out. Right. The princess wanted to go to Chipotle. Before we even get to Chuck E. Cheese. So they ate Chipotle. I waited because I wanted pizza. So when we got to Chuck E. Cheese, I'm the only one eating. They all playing, jumping and rolling and spinning up all the tickets and stuff. But I remember watching that crazy game early in the season, the Cowboys against the Giants, the overtime joint, the 40-37 game.
Yeah.
And here I am, got one hand on the pizza, got the phone propped up on a little napkin holder, and the other eye on them as they running around playing.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a crazy game because we had my man's Aubrey was kicking all those field goals. He had coming during the game. He had the long 50-some yarder. Then he had the joints in overtime, and had Russell Wilson looking like MVP out there, bad boy. only for them to lose it. But yeah, watching a crazy and wild game like that particular game with all the highs and lows inside of a Chuck E. Cheese was crazy.
Very interesting. Very
40 to
interesting.
37.
I don't have anything good like that, Prime, off top. I'm trying to think of something. I got nothing. Watching Puka go crazy and watching Jackson Smith and Jigba go crazy um, are things that stand out in my mind.
What else we had? We had
Watching the Giants trick up leads.
they tricked up a lot.
Yeah,
A lot of them.
The fact that they had leads is crazy in the first place, but I digress. And watching Detroit still look like they was like that, especially watching Gibbs go crazy, only for them to be to fall off. Basically, is what you can say, because they didn't make it to the end of the rainbow, in the least. So sad to see Detroit fall off like that. Now, if we were talking about a team coming back in the North and being able to turn it around, I can see Detroit turning around. Rocco here talking about Minnesota. I'm like, I know it's your team, but come on, man. Let's be for real. Let's be for real.
Yeah, he talking about them making that joint happen next year and being the top of that division. So Green Bay, I don't think Green Bay going nowhere.
Nope.
I feel like Detroit gonna at least be good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they going back to the play. I don't know. That remains to be seen how this thing breaks down. But with the pieces they bringing back, you gotta think that that they will be good. And then, of course, the question will be Chicago. Can they do what they did this year? We know with all those pieces that they got. I mean, they set up to be that way, but we've seen crazier things.
Yeah, they could fall off. I could see that actually being a thing.
Yeah. Keys, I said Keys had a heck of a night, man. Keys said he went to the R&B live tour concert Friday night. They had Next, Silk, the GOAT, Tank. You just talking about Tank? You trying to say Tank is the GOAT? I guess that's your boy, I guess. Tyrese and Jagged Edge. That's a heck of a show. It's Valentine's weekend, so that's a heck of a show right now. Yeah, I see. Shout out to some people on my timeline too that went to, I don't know where they were, but went to
New Edition.
Yeah,
that was in DC.
Yeah, it was in DC. A New Edition joint. Looks like Boys the Men, the New Edition Boys the Men tour.
And Tony Braxton.
Oh yeah, I should have known because I saw them. I saw Ralph Tresvant and them about a week or so ago sitting in on one of Tony Braxton's rehearsal. While she was rehearsing, but I should have known. It was pretty dope. So I saw a joint where my man Ralph Tresvant, I think he was singing was it either Sensitivity or Do What I Gotta Do? I forgot. But Boys the Men was backing them up dancing. The rest of New Edition wasn't on the screen, was Boys the Men back there dancing and singing background. So that was dope.
That sound dope.
That's dope. Your Philadelphia Eagles, though. I know you were talking about moments that we had during the season. But how do you feel about the Philadelphia Eagles this season overall, the way things happened and went down? And then also what you think y'all got to do to get everything popping, or you like to see happen going into the next season?
Let me tell you how far gone from the season I am. Who did the Eagles lose to in the playoffs?
Dang. I don't even know. I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
Like that?
That's how I feel. I don't remember who the Eagles lost to in the playoffs. But it was a rocky season. It was a rocky season, regardless of what the record looked like. Things were not quite right. A lot of 3 and outs. Never establishing an identity on offense. The run game was struggling, especially when compared to last season. And the pass game was predicated off the run game last year. And this year, the passing game was uh, nowhere near what it was because there was no run game. So it was a combination. It all goes back to the O line, though, because that was a whole different O line. I don't know what the people think.
Yeah.
People think it's the same people. That ain't the same people, girl.
Yeah.
He could be the one to tell y'all between injuries and injuries and no, for injuries all season, 3 to 4 O linemen out. Then you add in the 1 year Jurgens being there and the spot for Kelsey. Can't complain about that because they won the Super Bowl last year, so he was there for that. So I can't really point to that. But the rest of the O line, yeah, that was different. Some of them dudes just it was better at defending their teammates than actually blocking. Like defending your teammates in scuffles than actually blocking people. Like, rough. And that's really what it was. The defense balled out. Like I can't even, ain't much I can say about the defense. Of course, we pointed to that second, what we call the second corner. It's really the third corner because we know who the second corner is. Cooper DeJean is the second corner for real, whether he playing in the slot or on the outside or wherever. But that other corner spot was a rotation, and we already knew this. We said this at the beginning of the season. So I mean, this ain't it. Whoever it is, that ain't it. That ain't the answer. Ain't none of these people answer. Find somebody, do something, put somebody else over there. And you know it's true because the other two went to the Pro Bowl.
Right.
So there was that. And Reed Blankenship had his moments during the season. It didn't go so well. So tough times. But like I said, the defense balled out for the most part overall. Like I can't even be mad at them. It was some offensive struggles and going 0 for 9 and 1 for 8 in the second half of games that you're winning as far as passing the ball. Obviously that ain't gonna cut it. So we'll see what happens with AJ. Probably nothing. Nothing will happen with AJ. See what happens with the new.
Would you like to get rid of him? See what you can get for him?
I don't really care, bro. If he go, he go. I won't be mad. But I ain't anybody trying to hit us all season again. Like, thankfully, Kevin Patullo is out of there. So that's a blessing. God bless.
Yeah.
My man Rob, shout out to my guy Rob. He said he stopped blaming Patullo after a while and just started blaming Nick Sirianni because you standing there, you see what's going on, and you ain't helping, or you're not putting down your foot in some sort of fashion. So he turned his blame on to Sirianni. I think I still blame Patullo, but I get it. We'll see what happens next year, though. It'll be a whole new season. Everybody start fresh and see if we can reestablish something on the ground. Plus, once Saquon went and played golf with Trump, that was the end of his positives. It all went downhill from there. So it is what it is.
Yeah. I did something that I very rarely do, and I told you. Speaking of your man Saquon, is I drafted him on my high stakes in-person money league. Spent a ton of cash on this dude. He ain't give me jack. Now I can't complain because I made it all the way to the Super Bowl. All right, I did make it to the championship game, so I did get some money. I didn't win it, but I made it to the championship game. But I'm trying to figure how I got that far with Saquon Barkley with the season that he had, bro. Like, I'm really trying to figure that out because I don't know. I don't know. I spent a ton of cash. I spent more money on him in the auction league than I spent on any player the entire rest of the draft. Just thinking I'm gonna get me a running back because I never used to spend a lot of money on running backs.
Right.
I don't. I'd spread it out and just find my pick and choose my backs, and I find them when I find them. Yeah, but Saquon let me down. So how I got to the Super Bowl, I have no idea. But it won't happen again.
I hear that. I definitely had. I mean, I won the family league, but it was just. I mean, it was the family league. But I had Lamar, Derrick Henry, and Jamal Chase. I had, but all three of them didn't have great seasons at certain points,
Yeah.
and two of the three really didn't do much overall. So it was what it was. Still won a championship, but it was a bad look when you look at what you thought you could have had, and then what actually happened.
All right, what we got? Keys says Cowboys and Commanders turning it around. That's interesting. Washington to me is interesting. We saw the type of season they had last year. Definitely didn't go the way that they wanted it to go. A lot of hype from that great year that they had the year before. A lot of that can be contributed to, of course, to Jaden Daniels' injury. Also, I'll attribute the fact that I think the defense fell a step down from the year before too. Their defense was not good. I watched them a couple of games where they did ball out, but they weren't that good. So, Keys, we talking about this season and next season. When we talking about hot seat coaches, I feel like Dan Quinn. I think it's a big year for Dan Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that the Washington Commanders are going to have to make it to a championship game, but they're going to have to. I feel like they're going to have to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're going to have to make the playoffs, and especially when they've let him have his hands all over everything, and working with the GM as far as players that they want. When you got that much power, word to Spider-Man, they said with great power comes great responsibility. You got your hands all over that team, and if they're trying to give you what you're asking for, and you have another down season, I think it says a lot. Because I don't think Mariota is. I think Mariota is as a decent backup for what you're trying to do. I don't think people were looking for him to fall off the way that they did, even with Daniel's injury. He was just the difference between them possibly getting, to an NFC Championship game. But I think that Marcus Mariota is I'd take him as a backup quarterback, definitely. And I think that they look at how the team looked even with him back, starting quarterback. But I think Dan Quinn is going to enter next season. No matter what you hear, I think all eyes are going to be on Dan Quinn. He bring up the Dallas Cowboys, of course. That's my cue. Not a lot to say, whether we turn it around or not. 2 straight years, no playoffs. A lot of positives, though, for the Dallas Cowboys. First of all, I do like Shotty. I like what I saw in 1 year from Shotty. Let me say that. That won't mean that this time next year that I might be in here, ready to jump out the window, get rid of this dude. But I like what I saw in Schottenheimer the first year. You can't blame everything on him defensively and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, the first year, a lot of those pieces, some of those pieces were already there. You got to get in there to see what you got and what type of moves you can make. Defensively, historically bad. Historically bad. I thought we had some historically bad defense in the past, which we had. Historically bad, bro. But you got a new defensive coordinator. Thanks to you guys, Source. We appreciate it. Got a young gun. A lot of people feel I got to check to see what his contract looking like too, because and how long we got him for and how that joint is locked down. Because if this thing works out, he's only 34 years old. I feel like if this thing works, he'll be one of those guys we talking about with teams gonna want to talk to him about a head coaching job at some point, because he's getting like glowing reviews with Christian Parker. He's getting glowing reviews from the players. He's gotten some former coaches that's giving him love. So I got to see what this contract looking like, if he makes any type of improvement next year, and then going to the year after that. Hope it's one of them situations where Jerry be like, "No, you can't. We ain't granting you permission to talk to him." That's what I'm hoping, if this thing works out the way that I think that it could. But defensively, a lot of positive. Quentin Williams, you have an opportunity to go ahead and get him restructured now while he's young. He ain't got to worry about it. I think he played very well, especially if you watch. It seemed like every time we played, so as folks was just double teaming him. Every time they would show a replay,
Yeah.
double team, double team, double team. You know, brought over Clark from Green Bay. I think he played very well. Odigizua had just gotten the contract before the season. There could be some decisions to make there. I love their rotation. I love the way they play it. But if it comes down and we got to free up some money, those two guys could be interesting. I'd rather keep Odigizua than Clark. But if we can keep all three, I'm cool with that. But got to fix the defense. Offensively, I'm cool with whatever offensively as at this point. The offense looked good. Dak looked good. I'm giving much love. And you know me with Dak, I'm giving much respect to Dak Prescott for the most part, man. They're talking about probably franchising George Pickens. I saw a lot of stuff floating around on these websites of Dallas should get him to see what they could get for him. And people are saying, hey, no, you might say this, blah, 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 but think of what you could do this. You could free this up. You could probably bring in 3 picks or 2 and all that. I'm not with it. The defense going to have to figure itself out at some point. George Pickens is an absolute dog. Absolute dog. So y'all want me to get rid of George Pickens. CD gets nicked up like he does every year. And then I'm riding with no George Pickens on the other side. And for how many games that CD gonna be out? I know we found a couple of young guns at that 3rd and 4th slot, but nah. I'm spending that money, bro. I'm spending that money. I figure that defense out some kind of way. Because we don't have to be a dominant defense to be back in the playoffs. So we just got to be a functional defense. A good defense. We ain't got to be top 5. With the way that offense play, man, I'm telling you, the way that offense plays, we can be top 15 and be a wild card team. I'm telling you. We just can't be 31, 32. 32 teams in the league, and our defense ranked 50th.
Dang. Brutal.
So, keys. Jeremiah Love might fall into your lap. I'm seeing all that. But dog, I can't see him falling to number 12. Stephen Jones said they would like to bring Javonte Williams back. I bring Javonte back for the right price for sure. Now, getting a Jeremiah Love to fall to you if you can't move up. Well, I'm definitely making that move too if it's there because that's less money I got to spend right now. Right? And I can let Javonte go if that's the case, right? But I can't see him falling to 12. I looked it up while we was on with Rock. And I was right. Kansas City picks 9th. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be Kansas City's pick. But it's a couple of other teams that's sitting there that I feel like would go. I mean, Jeremiah, I believe, is a talent, bro. Like a talent. Like really good. And teams are not going to be that dumb, man. The next thing I saw, too, was a player I would love to have would be Caleb Downs, and at that safety.
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't know if Caleb Downs going to make it to 12. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, that's what we got. You look at the first 10, you got the Raiders. We pretty much know where that's going next year. The Jets, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Giants, the Browns, the Commanders, the Saints, and then the next one should be Kansas City. Yep. Cincinnati. Like, prime example. We picking 12. Jeremiah Love is not getting. You got Kansas City there. Maybe the Saints. I mean, at that point, what's the name is long in the tooth and, got to replace him.
Alvin.
I mean, Is Washington happy with your boy Krosky Murray? Like, think he's that guy? Like, it's a lot there, bro. It's a lot there. Tennessee. Now we talking about the safety situation for our source. Miami can use a safety. They pick in front of us. Cincinnati can use a safety.
They need everything.
Yeah, they need everything. So shoot, Washington can use a safety. So I don't know. Keys, I would love to have Jeremiah Love. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if he fall in the 12. I can pray on it though. I could pray on it. And let me see here. Ain't too much more to go through on these. No need to go over the chants. Caesar didn't pop in, so no you talk about the charges. And I will ask you this, Source. And then we kind of touched on it for a half a second when Rock was on. The Super Bowl runner-up, the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
You think they keep that positive track that they got going?
I mean, I could see them falling back to that 9-8 range, the 9-8, 10-7 range, because this was a I don't want to say miraculous, but they did a lot with less. It seems like they did a lot. They were what 14-3.
Yeah, they was 14-3, and remember last year they were 4-13.
Yeah, so that's a heck of a turnaround. So you might have had, the worst of the worst possibilities last season, the best of the best possibilities this season, and then they fall back into where they should probably be, maybe in that middle range. Especially when you hear some people talk about their schedule and all that. You can only play who's in front of you, like whoever on the schedule, who you play. But it might get a little tougher this upcoming season, as opposed to what they just went through. So I could definitely see them falling back into the 8-9, 9-8 range.
It could definitely happen. One thing we're gonna have to look at too is when those schedules come out. We made a Juwan and we're talking about the schedule to start the season. Very favorable schedule too for a team that was was coming off a 4-13 season.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see how that schedule stacks up. How the schedule looks when all the schedules get released. Some of the teams that you're going to be playing already, but you just don't know. There's questions about a couple of teams, and you also don't know when you're playing them, where you're playing them.
Right.
Even like when we were talking about. What you say, Bob?
I just said what kind of injuries you have at that point in time.
Yeah, that's why too. You and I having the talk earlier about Kansas City. I'm interested with Kansas City though, and everything that I said, I am interested to see how their schedule looks and what these timelines are. Timeline is for injury. Are they gonna have Mahomes? When is he coming back? How is it stacking for them? So that's something that's gonna play a lot into how they do as well.
I don't know why the season, like NFL season, seems to go by fast. Baseball season goes by slow. But you think about baseball, you like baseball way longer than football. I mean, baseball is longer season, but it ain't as long it's not as crazy in comparison to football as one might think. Like football is it's a long season, but it seems to just once we get to week 4, it's like, man, the season almost over. That's how I feel. I'm like, the regular season almost over, bro. We have week 4. How we get to week 4 already? They ain't played but 3 times. How we get to week 4? Because we played 3 times. But yeah, it just seems to go so fast.
Yeah, baseball is definitely crazy, especially with the NFL. We looking at one game a week. There's a time period within a week, within 7 days, you might see the same team twice because somebody can turn around and play Thursday night football or whatever the situation is. But that's pretty much what it is. Baseball is funny because they play all those games, but you can mess around in baseball and look, your team play 4 times in a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if might be 5, it was a double header for whatever reason. Like, you know, so that is wild. That is wild. But all in all, man, I think this was an interesting season, a very interesting season. We saw a lot of things that we didn't see. I'm here for all of it, all the changes we had. You know, teams that are always in the playoffs didn't make the playoffs at all. You know, fell off the map. Some surprise teams not only did good, they did really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
There were some records broken, as I mentioned earlier. There were some young stars. I think the NFL is in good hands. For years to come. If you're looking at these young stars that we got coming, that's going to have to carry the mantle. And what I really like is the treat for us going into next year is the uncertainty because of the amount of new coaches in place. And all of those coaches weren't the usual suspects. Like, we got a lot of coaches now, first-time head coaches. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys got jobs. Like McCarthy got back in the league, but some of these other guys I got fired and let go. I just knew it was a good shot that they're going to be coaching again within a week or two of them getting fired. Like Mike McDaniel, he had opportunities to be a head coach. He withdrew his name towards the end of the season just to take an offensive coordinator job with the Chargers.
Right.
You know, so some very interesting stuff. Mike Tomlin, we know about Tomlin, but Tomlin, they were saying Tomlin want to go and get on the air anyway. Probably want to spend more time with his family. We saw how quick Harbaugh got fired and got a job. It was not only got a job, every team plus one that still had a coach wanted to talk to him about a job. So I don't know. I can't remember if we've had a season that we've had this much stuff happen in 1 year. Like this much. We've had crazy things happen, but this much between everything that's going to happen in 1 year. And you mentioned about the length of the games. They're already talking about adding another game.
Yeah, wow. I mean, hey, I don't know. But yeah, trying to catch baseball in time frame is not a great idea, I don't think.
No.
I don't think adding a game is going to make or break anybody. But I'm also not the one that has put in that training and played that whole season with already so many fluke injuries happening randomly that another week would just equal more fluke injuries. So
yeah, I know most of the players don't love it. So
I'm sure
we've been hearing that for years. They don't love it.
Yeah, I mean, if they said I could work 4 days a week at the same amount of hours, I mean, I'm gonna take that as opposed to them saying I got to work 6 days a week with the same amount of hours. So yeah.
But that puts a wrap on it. Made it to the end. The Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl 60 champions. Going to next year, they are favored. I did see that. Was one of the betting sites. They dropped New England all the way down to the 4th best odds in the AFC for next year.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
4th best. So it just hit me when you were talking about possibility of being a 9, maybe 10 win team next year. Yeah, 4th best odds in the AFC by one of the sites I was looking at going into next year. Of course, on that site, but Seattle remained number 1 to go back.
Of course.
And they're constructed well.
Yeah, they ready.
Interesting enough. So that's it for football. I want to ask you a couple of quick things, though, man, before we get out of here. One of them just sparked yesterday, and we were talking about it. I think you commented on one of the posts that I put in the group, and that was basketball. Number 1 is the NBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, just like most people, didn't realize that they had the All-Star festivities early in the day. Most people didn't know. I didn't know either.
I barely knew that it was All-Star Weekend, just only because I knew it was. It's usually right after Valentine's Day or this week or next week. Is the reason I even thought that it could be this week, but I didn't see anything about the All-Star game going into the All-Star Weekend going into it.
I had to remember that, it's not TNT no more. Remember they had the whole ESPN situation. And I'm like, it totally caught me off guard because, you and I have been on it for years, man. We had All-Star Weekend, and this and that, All-Star Saturday night. And I honestly did not know it was All-Star Weekend until I think it was Wednesday. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it was Wednesday.
I was watching the Knicks game. And during the broadcast, one of the announcers mentioned, and like twice, this is the last game before the All-Star break for these teams. I'm like, huh? Is this weekend out?
Right.
I said, well, it is usually around Valentine's Day, blah, blah, the whole 9 yards. I said, okay, I got my mind set that it was then. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, it's going to be the usual. It's going to be that. All-Star Saturday night is my joint, at least, a couple of competitions. I did not realize I was at work yesterday, about to get off. Not long before I got off. I got an alert on my phone, and they said something about Dame warming up. I'm like, huh? Dame warming up? Warming up this early? So I just grabbed my phone thinking I'm about to see this man, warming up, shooting some jumpers just in a gym, an empty gym or something, or. And I'm noticing there's people in the gym where he warming up.
Mm-hmm.
I said, wait a minute, bro. So I went back and checked everything, and I saw that the daggone stuff was kicking up like 4:30 or something like that. I'm like, what? We didn't change.
Where are they?
Huh?
Where are they?
Where's the All-Star festivity?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did I tell you something else? I tuned in just enough to catch him shooting. I saw the New York won the skills joint.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And then I was in and out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was in and out on the dunk competition and all that because I was by that time I was getting ready, for Unrivaled. I was, what I'm saying, like it's just crazy how in 1 year with all this changeover between networks and everything else, it just nobody knew.
Yeah. What time's the game today?
I think, man, I'm gonna tell you, Nicole had to tell me, but I think they playing at 5:00.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna because she said something about. She said this morning. She said that there's another game today, and I said yeah, and she said the game come on. She said 5:00, and I said no, it's probably 8. I said you might be looking at 5, and maybe that's Central or something. Then we looked it up, and she looked at now. I'm pretty sure that joint said 5:00. Matthew, you got me looking now. Yes, sir.
Everything was
5 p.m.
I guess that will be in the day too. So
5 p.m. today. And people who don't know, that's gonna catch them off guard. They're gonna know now. They got that bad boy at 5 to 8. It's on NBC. So I don't know if I like it, bro.
I missed out the 3-point. I didn't watch any of the dunk contests. I did see the highlight of, I don't even know who it was. They threw the joint off the side of the backboard, and then they came to do a 360 and it hit something, hit the floor. Was that in the joint?
Yeah, Keys, it's today. It's they moved everything up. Now, I did see something that was interesting, and I don't know how true it is when people were commenting. As I was scrolling this morning before I got up, and I was scrolling, there were folks saying that they wanted any of that have anything to do with the fact that the Olympics was on. I don't know.
Yeah, but the Olympics is in Europe.
Yeah, I don't know if they thinking about time. I have no idea. Like I have no idea.
It could be. It could be. That could be a thing. Because the Olympics are in LA in 2 years. That could be a thing. And then maybe they'll do it again next year, and then they'll definitely do it that following year. But that at least we'll be on the same time. Yeah, that could be it because they've already got the Olympics for the nighttime, prime time stuff. So they throw the basketball stuff earlier. That could be it. That's okay.
So
Okay.
we'll see if we get any type of statement from them, or don't, or we find out what happens next year. But I thought that was interesting. But so
Yeah.
I truly believed that I was going to be up in here in usual fashion, TV'd up, iPad up, everything. I'd be watching a bunch of stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, LSU in South Carolina. I'm thinking all that stuff about to be popping at the same time, and that's not the way that that unfolded. At least with the NBA. I think Unravel was at the perfect time slot. So, that
Yeah. I'm Rivals that take that, and then they got the South Carolina LSU right after that.
that was fire.
That's all I cared about anyway. I don't care about the other stuff.
Yeah, that was all fire from the Unravel. The Unravel was fire, and the of course the LSU South Carolina game, you know, was really good. Was really good down to the wire. So you see your boy said who was it, Jalen Brown? I'm talking about they loving that Unravel 1-on-1.
What about that
They
anyway?
want the league and them to do something like that now.
No, they don't. No, they don't. He just he might, but don't nobody want that. Not nobody, but they don't want that. The players don't want that. Nah, he just talking. He said it before. He said it a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody falling for that again.
Yeah, so the Unravel was great, man. I'm the 1-on-1 was great. I wasn't the only person that I'll say the only person. I'm not surprised by her growth and the way she's been balling. I didn't have Aaliyah Boston making it to the 4 though.
Yeah.
I was thinking when this whole thing started in my mind, I'm just like, okay, they're gonna get in there, gonna get your girl Stewie, gonna get up in there, and I had the other three. I had the other three.
Really, you picked them?
Yeah, I was a little worried for my girl, Alicia Gray, but I know how she get down these 1-on-1 situations. But it was never a doubt in my mind. I felt like Plum was gonna be there, unless maybe her and Chelsea would have ended up meeting early, But the point guard, I knew she was gonna be there. If you can watch last year, like she gets down, she strives on it. That's her thing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? She's we talking about 1-on-1 ballers gonna find a way. That's her. And watching her and Alicia get at it though, that joint had me tight, bro.
Yeah, bro. I was in front of the TV. Every time a shot went up, I was like, ah! It was wild. That was fun. It was fun. I was like that in all 5 games. So yesterday, I was like that in the games on whatever the day was before, as well, on the Friday joints as well.
Yeah, shout out to him. But shout out to Leah Boston. No, she was giving it to him. I had to give it to the whole joint. Is anybody, if you look at anybody since they've been in the league, who's already a good player, but she's one of those people who's really, really transformed. And on her body, she looks great. The way she, the shape that she's gotten in, but the people that she's been around, the mentality. I don't think being with Candace Parker won't hurt anything either.
Right.
As far as her confidence, because she go out there and talk with the best of them too, like in your face. But she's playing really well.
Yeah.
So
Great.
No doubt. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got. Anything else you want to hit on before we get out of here?
Nah, man. We covered it all.
Yeah, I'm just another day, probably some college basketball and the women's games kind of strong today. Tennessee plays Texas. I don't know how that's gonna go, how well that's gonna go for us, but we've been getting the breaks beaten off us playing these top tier teams. So I don't know. Texas coming off a high breaker. You got Michigan. I think in Michigan State they play 7 against 13 today. Got Duke and UNC in the women's side. That's on ABC. That's gonna be good. And there's a couple of other good games on. So that's probably what's gonna be in the mix for me today.
Word.
Yeah. If I get to the All-Star game, I'll get to it. But I guess I will. But
I guess so.
What you got for the people, man? Anything you want to put out there? You got coming up?
Nah, I'm in the middle of this Jay Dilla tribute or 28 days of Dilla, Jay Dilla month, whatever I call it. I'm just doing a video a day about something related to Dilla, so got to do one for today. We're at the halfway point of that. Regular Beat Cypher Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then Sessions with Source this week, I'm actually doing a little different. Instead of having a hip hop artist on, I'm having somebody that's actually popular on TikTok, and they're going to come with 5 songs that were important or important to them in hip hop and tell a story about that. So this week, I got your man's Chilltown 32.
Okay.
Coming through. I don't know if Fluent is coming through, but I know Chill is. So
OG.
that should be good.
Yeah, the OG.
So that should be good. And he's a big sports guy. So, well, I mean, that's his thing. Sports is his thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's nice with it.
Yeah. So that should be good. Trying something different just to mix it up and get some people in there. Plus, he got a great following, so
yeah,
might pull in a couple extra bodies.
Cool. That's fire. I got nothing as usual. It's nothing. Something I have been asked to jump on a couple of people's shows. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet, but we'll see. Depends how I'm feeling.
Right.
Depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I be really motivated to do it. Sometimes like, I'll watch TV instead. But I do appreciate the invite. So we will see. We shall see. Make a guest appearance or two. We shall see what goes on there. Other than that, I got that for the people. Make sure y'all check out Jill Scott. If you haven't listened to the album is solid. She has a Tiny Desk tomorrow, 12 p.m.
Yep.
YouTube and check it out. And if you're fans of the Chili from Philly, I'll be tuned in for sure. And that's it. But that's our football coverage for the year. The NFL. We'll be back with more sports shows here and there. We're going to do some TV, movies, things of that nature as well. So stay tuned. We'll be out there at some point making it happen.
Yeah.
But as always, I'm your boy Prime. That is the homie Source in the building. Y'all check him out over there. Source, of course, on TikTok. My man be making it happen over there. And we catch you when we catch you. We out.
Yep.